Hey guys, in this video we'll be doing something quite cool, and that is the classic RPG character preview inside your inventory. So when you're equipping the items, you can see what they look like on the player. And for that we will be using the scene capture component, so same as when we did the icons, but this time we will be filming the player. We can't be using the player blueprint itself because that one moves around the world. So we will need to create the stationary character that we can capture and then project in the inventory. So to do that, we will duplicate our player blueprint. So just Ctrl and D. Name this preview actor underscore BP. Create new folder. Call this preview actor. Move this preview actor there. And now open it up. And in the event graph, we don't really need any of these. Those are all inputs or custom events, so just remove the whole thing. In the functions, we also can delete all of them, so remove everything apart from construction script. In our variables, we're only going to keep the attach actors map array because we'll be using it to equip items to preview actor. So delete everything else. And from these components, we will be using exactly the same ones. So go to viewport now. If you don't have viewport open, just double click here on preview actor, it will open it up. Compile and save. Now add a new component, search for spring arm. This will add a spring arm at 300 distance from the player that is attached to the player, and with spring arm selected, just add a new component called scene capture component 2D. This will attach it on the end of the spring arm, so at perfect distance, but as you can see, the camera is behind the player, so just select spring arm. Make sure your snapping for angles is enabled, and now just rotate it in front of the player. While we're here, you can select the scene capture and change the field of view to 40. It will be a little bit closer to the player. Compile and save. Now in here we will create new render target, so right click and search here render target. This will be our preview actor render. Open it up. So size at the moment is 256, which will be quite low and pixelated, so we need to make it better quality. I'll change mine to 1024, which is a sweet spot. If you got a really strong machine and you want this preview character to be much higher quality, you can move it up, but this one is perfect for me. And now we can go to our content browser again and create the material as well. So go to materials, create new one, and we will name this preview actor underscore M. Open this one up. In here, select this node and change material domain to user interface and blend mode to translucent. Right click, we will search for texture sample. The texture that we need to select here is the render target, render preview actor render. Connect the RGB to final color and drag from alpha channel, and we will do 1-, which will help us remove the background. Just a side note, this only removes the background from the material itself. It doesn't remove any meshes like behind the player or anything like that. We'll have to do that manually, so apply and save. Close this one up, we won't be using it anymore. You can close the render. And now here in scene capture component, with that selected, go down, and texture target will be our preview actor render. And you can already kind of see that what the player will look like in this. So it's directly in the middle, that's good. So you can just compile and save this. And now we can go to content browser and open the equipment slot preview widget. So go to blueprints widgets, equipment slot preview. Here search for image. Add it to your canvas panel with all the equipment slots. And we need to resize it. So I'll resize it to maybe 500 times 500. Just make sure it's square, otherwise you will squish the preview actor. Move it somewhere here. Don't worry about this overlapping because you won't have the background, you will only have a player in the middle. So now go to brush and change image to our material. So preview, actor, material. And you got a preview here. This is what it will look like. So if you play the game, you have them in an inventory, but it's stationary, it doesn't move, doesn't do an idle animation or anything. So we need to fix that because now at the moment it's just a picture. Close this. I don't like the fact that this is now in a corner, so I'll just move it directly under the player. And maybe move these slots a bit higher. Don't worry about styling it too much because we will have a whole video on how to style the widgets, so we'll make it look nice. It's just temporary. Compile and save. And now, to make it that it will animate and everything, we need to spawn this actor into the vault. To do that, you can just go to your play blueprint. So open it up if you don't have it open. And in event graph, you can close all these functions. So right click on this, close tabs to the right. In the event graph, find the empty space and we will create custom event. So custom event, add custom event. And this one will be called spawn preview actor. Here we will just drag from here and do spawn actor from class. So spawn actor from class. Class will be the preview actor, BP. And now just drag in from spawn transform, scroll down and you will have a make transform here. For now, just type in the location X just 1000. We'll be changing this later, I'll show you why. And just drag from the return value and promote to variable. This will be our player, preview actor ref for reference. So we'll need to access it later, compile and save. And now also we need to call this spawn preview actor function or event. So here where you got event begin play, I can open this comment and you can just connect it here. So spawn preview actor. Now compile and save. So as soon as we begin playing the game, it will spawn the actor and it will spawn it just a little bit of the main map. So play the game. And now open your inventory. You can see the player is just outside of the bounds. But everything else like sky and all the meshes are being rendered behind it and we don't want that. So to fix it, we need to move the player, we need to spawn it, the preview actor, completely outside of this bounds. It's actually, this is the sky sphere. So if you make this transform on the location of 10 million, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros, and now play the game, you can see that sky sphere is actually round and it's now far behind the player, but we don't want to see it. So what we can do is just here in the rotation, we can move the rotation Z to 90 degrees. Now if you play the game, it's just the preview character, there is nothing around it. So it's spawned completely outside the whole world. So also he's being affected by sun and all the light. So what we can do to fix it a little bit, because he's got weird shadows, is on this spring arm, just add another component, and we will add point light. And here in the intensity, just turn it down to like 2500. Now if you play the game, you can see now the shadows actually look much better than before. But one problem is he's still not animated, and that is because we are pausing the game every time we open the inventory. And at this time, there is no way in Unreal Engine to unpause just one character. So the only way to actually do it is here when we're opening our inventory in Player Blueprint. Let's get rid of this set game post, and we will instead do set time dilation, set global time dilation. We'll put it to 0, and we will set global time dilation on closing the inventory to 1, which is default value. So this basically changes the passage of time in the world. 0 means it is paused, and 1 means it's normal. And it's pretty much the same thing as it was before, but now what we can do is drag from our preview actor reference and type in global time dilation. We can set custom time dilation just for this character. The problem is you would think that if you put 1 here, it would work normally, but this one just multiplies the global time dilation. So if the global time dilation is 0, no matter what you put in here, it will still be 0. So to change that, to fix it, what we need to do is put few zeros here. So put like 5 zeros and 1. So the time will be extremely slow. I mean, if you left your game on pause in the inventory for like a whole day, it would move by like second maybe. So it doesn't really matter, the game is still paused. And now we can multiply it here on the preview character by maybe 10,000. It's weird because if you think you would need to multiply it by the same amount as well, but it just works a little bit different for some reason. So now if you were to open the game and play it, don't mind the metahuman hair now. So the animation actually works. So he's moving, he's doing the idle animation, but we do have a few issues. So the metahuman hair is at the moment is a common bug, and that is the physics can handle time dilation if it's less than 0.03, I think. And same thing with the objects colliding in the world. So if you got physics enabled and you see your objects in the background colliding or something, and then you unpause the menu, they will just be flying everywhere. So we can fix both of these things. To fix the metahuman hair, all we have to do is go to hair in the components, scroll down to groom asset, open this one up, and this is our hair. And all we have to do is here on these tabs, just select the physics one, and you can just disable the simulation here. Save it, and I will stop simulating the hair. And to fix the objects flying around, the one way that I found to do that is you can get all actors of class. The class we'll be getting is our interactable item. So all of the interactable items, and then we can do for each loop, and then drag from array element, and we'll set physics for item mesh, set simulate physics, and select the item mesh one. And we will switch off the physics, so it won't be simulating the physics when we open the inventory, and then when we close the inventory, you will turn on this simulating physics, so it will go back to normal. And you don't really necessarily have to do this, because on the map you will have objects probably lying around as well. They won't be just falling from the sky, but you know, like you can pause menu anytime when someone drops something, and then it would just go all bonkers. So this is the way to fix it. Now our inventory event is getting quite long, so what we can do is select all this, right click, we can collapse it to function. This one will be called disable item physics, and we can do the same here. Select this, right click, collapse to function, and this will be enable item physics. And now if you were to play the game, we do have preview character without the issue. So the game is paused, nothing is moving, as you can see in the background, but the character is doing the idle animation normally. If it goes too fast for you or too slow, obviously play with this value. So it moves normally, so either decrease it or increase it. And that is currently, I believe, the only proper way to do a preview character that moves inside the inventory. So, with that done, we now need to start equipping the items on the preview character. So what we can do is go to preview character. Here we will create two new functions. First one will be attach equipment to preview actor, and we'll create one more, which will be remove equipment from preview actor. Now select the attach one first. We will need to add two new inputs. This first one will be item info. So item info S type, and second one will be passing the equipment slot index. So we know where to equip it, and we will need to do same thing for remove equipment. So do two inputs. First one is item info, item info S, and equipment slot index, which is integer. Now compile and save. Go to your player blueprint and let's have a look where we can actually execute this function. So if you open up your equip item, here we're deciding where, like what type, we're setting the index slot, and here we are removing attached item first. So we can open this one up. Here we can do the check of is valid class, which we need. We pick up the item, then we destroy the actor, and we set skeletal mesh. So we can actually connect the function here, which to do that we need to do our preview actor reference and drag from here, and we will get the remove equipment from preview actor function. We need to connect the item info and equipment slot index we got here, so you can just connect that, and then item info, we have the we don't have input here. Okay, so we're getting item info only from here, but we can't just drag it all the way across, because here before the function we are removing that item, so there would be no value in there. So what we can do is drag this back, and we'll promote this to a variable. You can do local variable. This will be our local item info. So first thing we will set it, and that way it will be saved in the memory. And now we can just, in the end, we can just connect the item info here. I noticed that we having wires all the way across, so we can also connect it here. Remove this, and we can also connect it here. There we go. Compile and save. And now on equip, go back to equip item function, and now when we are attaching the item, same thing here at the end, we can just get the preview actor reference, and we will get the attach equipment to preview actor. Can connect it here, but we also need to connect it into all this. So we are attaching equipment to player, but then we pass the function to preview actor so it can handle what it's going to do as well. So now, don't forget to connect item info and equipment slot. Equipment slot index we got here as a variable, so copy it and paste it. And then item info we also have as a variable, so just copy and paste it here and connect it. Compile, save, and let's go back to preview actor, and now we can create the functions. So we're going to attach items first. We're going to break the item info open. We will switch on item type. Then for the weapons, we need to spawn actor from class. Class we will be spawning is the one from the item. Make spawn transform, you can just scroll down and make transform, same as the actor. This doesn't really matter, you can put 1,000 here or 10,000 so it spawns outside of the map somewhere, but then we straight away we're attaching it to this preview character, so it doesn't matter where you spawn it. And then after we spawn it, we need to save the reference, so we will add to our attached actors map array, connect it here. We'll be adding this return value, so the spawn actor. We'll be adding it at the slot index from here, so we can get the equipment slot index here. And now we have the references saved, so we can just attach it. So we will attach components, actor to component, attach actor to component, and drag it from the return value here, or just connect it to target. And now connect this one. Parent will be our mesh, so drag in mesh. Socket name, so remember this character, this preview actor got the exactly same socket names because it's using the same mesh, so we can get it in the same way. We can just get it from item type, we'll enum to string, and then we connect the string to socket name. We have to snap to target all of this. That is first part done. Now all of the weapons and everything that is spawned with the socket can be connected to the same thing. So shield and including head. And now from here, what we need to do is actually we can copy it from the player from attach item function. We got the same thing down here. So just copy this thing and paste it in the preview actor. Now we do not have this local skeletal mesh created, so just right click, create local variable, and we also need to set it in the beginning here, so we'll get this local variable connected here, and and we'll be getting the skeletal mesh from the item. And I'll just connect these to correct slots. So our skeletal meshes are actually the same names in here because we copied it from the player, so you don't have to change nothing here. And this should be attaching items to the preview character, so compile and save. Now if we were to play the game, it should actually work. So collect these items, try to attach it, and there we go, it's showing on the preview character. But we need to also remove it. So go back to preview actor and now select the remove equipment from preview actor. And here what we need to do is we will also switch. So break it open. Now we'll switch on item type. And then let's have a look what we did in remove item. So we just find it and remove it. We can actually copy this whole thing. So open the remove attach item in player blueprint, copy everything after switch and before the remove. Copy it and then paste it here. Remove these extensions. Now we need to create a slot index, which we got the equipment slot index here, so delete this, get equipment slot index, connect it here, and then we destroy the actor. So again, all of the item types that are equipping with the slot needs to go here until head. And for unequipping the armor pieces, we just need to connect it to this one and set it to empty mesh. With one exception is legs, where we need to set it to yoga pants, which is already done because we copied it. And that's it. Compile and save. And now if we play the game, collect all the items, we'll equip it. Weapon seems to be unequipping correctly, and you can also unequip the items, and you got nice preview character. Can move it a little bit up maybe so the leg is not sticking out. In here, there we go. If you want, you can make it a little bit nicer and actually download some Quixel Bridge asset, which would be like a stand or like rock or something, and put it in a preview actor, in a viewport, just under the player, and it will actually show because it's a static mesh, so he would be standing on like a rock or something, and that's quite nice. But I like it like this, simple. And then later on we can also like create buttons to rotate it or something, but I'll save that for some other video. Alright, if you like it, guys, please subscribe as well, it will help a lot. And other than that, see you in the next video.